Anyone else that'd like to speak in opposition, please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. My name is Gloria Smith. I'm here on behalf of the Bakersfield Refinery Coalition. We're not per se opposed to this project. Sometimes it's difficult when boards ask us to state our opposition or whether we're proponents, and we're neither at this time. First of all, I'd like to thank staff for the 2 years of hard work they've put into this project. We've been involved in this project from the very beginning, and we especially applaud staff's recommendation to the county to approve a reduced project size that will not use a deadly chemical of HF. That's really been one of our largest issues from the very beginning. We view this as a very important safety victory for those living and working in the shadow of the refinery, and we hope that the county adopts the HF ban. In 2007 and 2008, the BRC submitted extensive comments on the Clean Fuels project, but we were unable to fully analyze alternative D. It's highly complex, and it was not, in our view, it wasn't fully developed in the EIR, and it omitted important impact information that we are still reviewing. We hope to continue that reviewing and submit additional comments later in the next week. Our initial review shows that alternative D presents significant unmitigated impacts on air quality and hazardous materials. Our hazardous materials expert has documented widespread and undisclosed contamination all over the refinery site. That's not, it's completely understandable. It's been a refinery, I think, since the 1920s. But these contaminants pose a risk to school children and refinery workers and anyone working in project construction, because these contaminants will be disturbed in construction and become airborne, and they can flow over several miles. We'd really like to have that looked at. The EIR simply said that the Water Board will oversee this issue. But we have actually contacted the Water Board, and the Water Board says that it cannot approve the project's construction soils management plan, which supposedly addresses this issue, because a plan will involve handling hazardous materials that are outside the Water Board's purview. It is the Department of Toxic Substances Control. Is the agency that oversees hazardous materials, brought in right away to oversee this problem before construction begins and before the project is approved. As you've heard, alternative D also has significant impacts on air quality criteria pollutants, odor, and greenhouse gases. You haven't heard a lot about odor, but as far as we can discern, the new project is going to cause significant odors in all the people who have now moved out to the refinery perimeter. Concerning greenhouse gases, despite staff's additional mitigation, significant undisclosed greenhouse gas emissions remain. We will provide additional comments showing these unquantified emissions and provide additional mitigation measures. And we also understand that EPA is concerned about the project's greenhouse gas emissions as well. Thank you for this opportunity, and like I said, we will try to get supplemental comments in within the next week or so.
Thank you.
Good evening, commissioners and guests. My name is Kevin Korenthal. I represent the Central California chapter of Associated Builders and Contractors of California. Our association, which is located here in Bakersfield, represents more than 100 construction firms and oil field construction firms throughout the county of Kern. I come to you this evening to on behalf of them, indicate that ABC supports Big West's endeavor on the Clean Fuels Refinery project. And believe me when I tell you, this was not an easy decision for this group of people to make. Though some ABC members will benefit greatly from the construction jobs that will be generated by this job, others unfortunately will watch their labor costs skyrocket as the local labor market tightens with the need to fill these new positions. But the reason why it was important to ABC to be heard here tonight is because of a certain issue that has come up within this project. Ms. Gloria Smith spoke in the opposition earlier this evening. She mentioned that she was from some group whose name I don't remember, because I actually know who she really represents, and that is a big San Francisco law firm called Adams, Broadwell, Joseph, and Cardoza. Adams Broadwell, which is often known around the state as the California Unions for Reliable Energy, or CURE, as part of a heinous activity throughout the state that ABC has been opposing and working against for some time now that we call green mail. What is also known as environmental extortion is a process by which groups like CURE go before a assigning body, such as the city council or county that's responsible for signing the contract for a project, indicates that they have environmental issues with this particular project. But in the meantime, they coordinate their efforts with local business managers for local unions that descend upon that contractual group and begin pushing for union-only project labor agreements. This is a heinous activity that is going on around the state, as I mentioned, mostly as California Unions for Reliable Energy, but as you can see from Ms. Gloria Smith's involvement in this project here, they've obviously expanded their efforts. I hope that this board will move this project forward and send a strong message to Adams and Broadwell that their type of heinous activity is not welcome in this community, and by doing so, move this project forward and help Bakersfield and Kern County move towards energy independence. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, please refrain from clapping.
Matt, the one question I had of staff, if I could, is something you mentioned, Ms. Aviat, and it was echoed from some other speaker. There was a speaker, Gloria Smith, and she represented, to me, and as far as I knew she represented that she was representing the Bakersfield Refinery Commission. And then a speaker suggested that she was actually with the law firm, and you echoed that. To your knowledge, is Ms. Smith a resident of the county, and is she actually with this law firm?
Through the chair, the Refinery Coalition that she referenced was referenced in the Adams and Broadwell letter. And as far as I know, that is Ms. Smith. If I have misidentified the speaker, then perhaps the chairman could request a clarification.
Is Ms. Smith still in the audience? Would you please come down? Again, would you state your name for the record? And you can pull that microphone down.
My name is Gloria Smith.
Okay.
Would you like a list of the Bakersfield Refinery Coalition?
Ma'am, I think the question was from Mr. Green. Are you a resident of Kern County?
I am not.
Are you affiliated with the law firm that was referenced?
I absolutely am.
Thank you.
I would like to...
Thank you.
I represent local
Thank you.
people who retired...
Ma'am, if you don't stop speaking, I'll have you removed.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. As a commissioner, one of the things I've learned is you rely upon people who are coming forward to speak. I take all the speakers, unless I have some reason to believe otherwise, at their word. When I hear someone saying that they're representing a Bakersfield organization, I trust that. The fact that the person speaking doesn't actually come from this area, is representing a law firm, is somewhat bothersome to me, and I thought disingenuous.
Hello, my name is John Brakefield, and I'm a lawyer in Gainesville, Georgia. On this video, I'm going to talk about some of the requirements that the Georgia legislature has put in place in regards to medical malpractice cases. Number one, if someone has been injured as a result of a safety rule violation by their doctor and they've needlessly endangered the patient, then they have what's called a medical malpractice claim. It is a tort claim. It's an action against the doctor for not doing their job right. Under Georgia law, if you want to bring an action against a doctor for violating a safety rule, you're going to need another doctor, an expert in the field, to fill out an affidavit, a written statement explaining what exactly the doctor did wrong. That may not seem like that much of a big deal, but what's important to understand is that if you have several doctors, and let's say you have a serious cardiac issue, well, you need to make sure that you hired a thoracic cardiosurgeon to talk about the surgery issues. If there's also issues regarding what the nurse did wrong, you need to hire a nurse. If there's an issue of what the anesthesiologist did wrong, you need to hire that as well. So there definitely is a burden upon the plaintiff to go ahead and spend a lot of money on a case in order to determine whether there is or is not a case. And if you don't spend that money, then you don't have your day in court. You automatically get kicked out. So it's very important that you understand and that your lawyer understands the requirements in a medical malpractice case. It is important and imperative that if you're going to file a medical malpractice claim, that you get experts involved on the front end and they go ahead and review the case. That way, if a claim is filed, the affidavit can be attached with the complaint. If you have any questions on medical malpractice cases or any case in general, please feel free to call or email me at any time. Also, please visit our website. We have multiple articles and videos for you to review. Please remember that this video is not legal advice and it's for informational purposes only. Thanks so much.